Guys, I feel like I put on too much. Hi friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Grab your favorite drink because today we are applying a lot of blush and we are going full vintage Coquette and talking about one of the internet's current obsessions and targets, Sabrina Carpenter. She went from being the internet's undisputed pop princess to facing some of the heaviest backlash of her career over a couple things like the Coachella yodel incident and her new album cover art. Is the internet holding her to an impossible standard, or are their critiques actually valid? So while I attempt to map out these brows and get like a type of doll-like type of look, let's talk about everything that's been going on with her recently. So let's start from the beginning. So before Espresso, Sabrina spent over a decade working in the industry trenches. Entered a singing contest run by Miley Cyrus called Miley's World Be a Star. She placed third out of 10,000 contestants, which initially got her noticed. And fun fact, she is also the biological niece of Nancy Cartwright, the legendary voice of Bart Simpson. Then she had a Disney breakthrough. She booked the role of the rebellious friend Maya Hart on Disney Channel's Girl Meets World. And she did that from 2014 to 2017. So from Disney to Hollywood Records. Like many other Disney stars, she signed a record deal with Hollywood Records. She put out like 4 studio albums. They had great simp pop songs, but the label didn't give her any mainstream radio backing. So that leave her stuck in the awkward like middle zone type of like fame. Then she landed a huge role of Katie Heron in the Mean Girls musical on Broadway. She had her debut in March. But then in 2020, Broadway shut down due to COVID-19. Just 2 days later, completely stopping her momentum. Okay, this is the closest I'm going to get to her brows as possible. So we're moving on to the face. So as we do the face, we're going to talk about the drama and the internet and the backlash. So the first controversy that reshaped her entire public image was the love triangle in January 2021. So Olivia Rodrigo dropped her record-shattering hit Driver's License. The song detailed the devastating breakup with her co-star Joshua Bassett, who had reportedly started dating Sabrina right after the breakup. So Rodrigo's she had a lyric like a part in the song that said, "And you're probably with that blonde girl who always made me doubt."
You're probably with that blonde girl who always made me doubt.
That caused the internet to direct an overwhelming amount of criticism towards Sabrina overnight. Millions of people was labeling Sabrina a homewrecker and a villain. So Sabrina actually responded and used her anger to fuel her music. She signed with Island Records and then dropped Skin, directly addressing the drama with the line, "Maybe blonde was the only rhyme."
Blonde was the only rhyme, the only rhyme.
This was her first ever song to debut on the Billboard Hot 100. Yeah, so the another controversy was the yodel incident. It was a viral live performance, a moment that it sparked a massive debate about cultural insensitivity versus onstage confusion during her headlining set at Coachella. Guys, I feel like I put on too much. So, a fan in the crowd had made a high-pitched jahutra, I hope I said that right, is a ululation, a traditional Arabic vocal sound, and it's used to express joy or celebration at like weddings and parties, So Sabrina looked kind of confused, and then she like paused on the mic, and she said something along the lines of, "What was that? A yodel? I don't like it." That's what she said. I'll play the clip.
Is that what you're doing? I don't like it. That's your culture, is yodeling? Is this Burning Man? What's going on? This is weird. You know,
So she said that before moving on with her set. So the clip went viral on TikTok and X, with the critics were saying that it was a microaggression and culturally insensitive, which I agree that it did look that way because the person did yell and said, it's part of my culture. To me, all she could have done was just said okay and then carry on with her set. Like, she didn't have to say I don't like it, because it come across a type of way. But then she came out and apologized and clarified on X, explaining that with the thing she had in her ears, like, it came out like a distorted screech, and she had no clue it was a cultural expression, even though the girl did say that. I don't know if she did hear her. And yeah, so because she had on her earpiece, she said she didn't hear it, and that she loves her diverse fan base. And I believe people was upset is because it highlighted how like Western like pop spaces could be very dismissive of like non-westernized cultural expression, and they kind of label them like these things as like weird or like noise, you know. So the Man Best Friend album cover backlash was another controversy. So the release of her follow-up album Man's Best Friend and the internet's divided reaction to its visual art. So when Sabrina dropped the cover art for Man's Best Friend, it featured her on all fours on a luxury rug wearing a vintage outfit, and her hair was being pulled forward by a faceless guy. And parts of the internet immediately labeled the image regressive and arguing that it was heavily to the male gaze and submissive tropes, claiming it set feminism back and defended it as a classic Sabrina camp dark humor and satire, pointing out that the album lyrics actually mock toxic controlling men like her tracks Man-Child and Bad Chem Legacy. I personally felt like she didn't do that to make people. I feel like she did it to make people talk, but I feel like she could have done it in a different type of way. Yeah, I just felt like she could have done that a little different. I don't know, but she did get them talking though. I'm going to finish the eyes off camera. Just gonna add some white eyeliner and I'm gonna add some white eyeliner, and then we're gonna come back and do freckles and lips. So the makeup is done. I added freckles and lips off camera. So the conclusion I feel like she could do a little better where certain things is concerned. I feel like she needs to like think a little bit before she does some stuff, because I feel like people could be very harsh on the internet, and I feel like they are human beings as well and they will make mistakes. But I feel like she in the industry a while, and she's a big woman, so she should know what to do and what not to do, and she should try a little harder where different people is concerned. But yeah, all right, so the look is done, blush is heavily applied, and the tea has been spilled. So now I want to hear from y'all. I'm dividing the comment section into two teams. So drop a ping bow if you think the internet is overreacting to her mistakes and her album art, or drop a teacup if you think the criticisms are actually fair. So let's talk respectively down below, and let me know what you guys think of the transformation, and more importantly, whose makeup should we recreate and talk about next. Drop your suggestions below and hit the subscribe button. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.